but I was asking about donuts. Would you like some? Do you have trouble eating? Yeah, it was the same for me after Sally died by suicide.
Demographically, seniors are at a high risk for suicide, and their attempts are more fatal, and that's what makes it a very serious issue for our seniors.
The Suicide Awareness Council was formed in 1998 to provide leadership and advocacy and to decrease suicide behavior, to promote hope, and to improve services and supports.
There was a great deal of reluctance to talk personally about suicide experience. I just made reference to mine. Well, early on, people thought, well, maybe that's not an appropriate thing to do, but the more and more we worked in this area, the more we realized that we needed to talk very personally about this in order to touch others.
The focus really is on prevention and also postvention. But we want to talk about prevention of suicide, and then postvention, are there other things that we can do?
We felt very compelled then that seniors have to have some forum to share their stories for their own health, their own well-being, and to help others feel comfortable to share, maybe how suicide has affected them.
The Suicide Awareness Council already had a touring production for youth that had been very effective, and they wanted to do a similar initiative for older adults, something that would be by seniors for seniors. So my first step was to meet with individual seniors whose lives had been impacted by suicide and write up their stories. And together we made their stories as anonymous as they wanted them to be.
I don't think I would have been ready for this any sooner. It just seemed like, what a great opportunity to actually try. And I'm a huge theater person. And the power of theater is a very, very big belief of mine.
Catherine was such a good listener and really caught the essence of what I was talking about. So it was in the process, I came to believe and understand this wasn't going to be a play about me or my experience, that I was providing some background.
For myself, the interview was so healing. I finally got to talk about my sister's suicide.
And then we met in two small groups to talk about these anonymous stories, the themes that emerged from them, and what would make an effective play.
It was a really good process for me to have the conversation with Catherine and then see the story written down, and then to have it shared with other people who also had some experience of suicide.
Meeting the people who were involved, they were so honest, and it was just a wonderful process.
The way it was set up, there was a huge comfort zone. Talk, don't talk. Share when you're ready, don't share. Respect other people's, what they're saying. Every single one of us had a different story.
So depression certainly is a risk factor for suicide. It's not in every single case, of course, but it does increase the risk. Also, high-risk behaviors such as substance use and gambling are often seen as risky behaviors prior to a suicide attempt or suicidal actions.
If you pass this motion, I will get another survey done. Then I will hire a lawyer and take you to the OMB.
And how would you afford that?
I might win a jackpot.
Let's be realistic, Sally.
It's about senior stories, and it's very authentic. They're very intentional, and it's just kept going. The play has been out in the community. It's been so well received. It's people are very open to the conversations that are in the play, and it's really heartwarming to see the engagement that happens in the play. And oftentimes I find that it's the conversations after the play that are the most fruitful. It's a wonderful learning tool. People come up to me afterwards and said, this has just blown me away. It's just been so impactful, and it's made me think about my history.
At the end of the play and the discussion, we ask our audience members to complete a bit of an evaluation of what they thought of the performance and what they learned. And so we're finding that they're leaving with a better sense of those things, which is exactly what we had hoped for when we engaged in this project of getting the awareness out there about suicide and life promotion, and making sure that we're talking about these very important topics, especially in a demographic with our older adult population that traditionally hasn't received a lot of attention with regards to prevention work.
It is so difficult sometimes when you sit down with someone and you try and start and have that conversation. No, I'm not depressed, I'm not this, just...
Something, and it's hard for me to talk about it, but something happened to my sister, and I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what it was. But I'll never know because she wouldn't talk about it.
For an individual to may be able to express that they're feeling suicidal, they might not have the confidence or the strength to come and talk to somebody about it. So being able to visualize the play, they can identify with the characters that represent perhaps their age group, and to be thought-provoking for the individual to then have an avenue of to start the conversation.
I think that's probably the most important lesson I learned. I got all bent out of shape in my mind, so I couldn't get help for myself. I needed to talk to somebody I trusted. We all need to talk to someone.